not computer literacy. And we finally got it. And we have a fairly open office. And one day, I heard the guy answering tech support, I heard him say, well, have you tried pressing the on button? Yes! We're there! We made it. So, I'm sorry to tell you guys, but that's who you're developing for now. So, I'm going to give you the quick background for why we made the switch. Besides the 9 computers going down every day, which provided incredibly strong motivation for us to switch to a more solid operating system, it's that guy's fault. It's that guy's fault why Middle America suburbia lady decided to switch over and devote her life to building free desktops and laptops that are optimized only for free and open source software. What happened was, we have always put the computers in the main part of the home because I want to be part of my kids' lives, I want to see what they're doing. So one day, as I was doing the typical mom thing, walking back and forth across the main area, I saw some weird things on his computer screen. I saw things popping, I saw fire, I saw windows melting. And I'd ask him as I was going by, I'd say, hey, what's wrong? And he decided to mess with me. He said, Mom, I think I've got a virus. And I'm like, oh, not again. Walking by every time, Corey, what's up? I think I got a virus. So finally, I see the rotating cube. And I literally had a bucket of laundry in my, or a thing of laundry in my hand, and I sat down, I said, Corey, what gives? And he sat back in his chair and he said, Mom, let me tell you about it or two. And I was hooked. So I said, well, can you do that to all the other computers? And he did. And so this is a shot of our shop. We're hoping to set it up as a small, very successful little shop. We're in the Bay Area, so we're right next to all of the big suppliers, all the big ships, all the freighters that come in. We get the parts right when we need them. There's deliveries every day, many deliveries every day. We're able to push in, push out, and it works really well. So thankfully, to this wonderful thing that we're doing with our lives right now, I get to see the connection, and I'm going to share a few stories with you. When we first started, we started getting love letters. Now, you know, some people do have problems. There are still bugs. Believe it or not, there's still some bugs. So they're not all love letters, but we do get love letters, and that's been very motivational. We've found that there's a heck of a lot more to life than motivation that fuels most companies. So the love letters are our fuel. That's what keeps us going. So through my little experience here, I'm going to give you a little glimpse, and I wish I had been a fly on the wall of this particular person's experience. There's a man, I forget what state he was in, but he emailed us after he got his laptop, and he said, I want you to kind of see this with me if you possibly can. He said, when the UPS delivery man rang my doorbell, I pressed shutdown on my desktop, which was not a Linux desktop. I pressed shutdown. I answered the door. I signed for the package. I opened the package. I plugged in the laptop. I connected to Wi-Fi, and my desktop was still shutting down. Thank you for having a good startup time. Don't you wish you could have been there to see that? Or if it had been videotaped or something? That would have been wonderful. Okay, raise your hand if you have helped a friend fix a technical issue before. When they've come to you and said, please help me, please help me. They even asked me, and my kids got me that sweatshirt from ThinkGeek that says, no, I will not fix your computer. So, all of us probably help our friends. And it's one of those difficult situations where you help them, and somehow a lot of times they seem to get more and more needy. The more you help, the more they need. And you know, while we love our friends, sometimes that gets to be a bit of an unpleasant situation. So, we had a phone call the other day, which I thought was brilliant, and I suggest this idea to all of you, where the guy said, I have a friend who's been helping me. I really need his help. He said he won't help me anymore unless I get a system with only Linux on it. Can he help me out? Because he just kept getting into trouble the other way. So, yeah, downloading viruses and all that. Now, I told you a few anecdotal stories. I'd like to talk on a mass scale right now. Now, before we started our company, we watched a movie called The Corporation. Netflix, I think, still has it on watch now. I highly recommend it. It explains why corporations work the way they do, the way that our legal system keeps the way that they're structured is really, truly quite evil. The way the documentary set it up is they said, you know, all of you probably know, a corporation is set up as if it is an individual. They treat a corporation as if it's a human being. Well, they said, if a corporation really was a flesh and blood human being, what type of person would it be? Would it be the type of person you want to hang out with and invite to your kid's birthday party? Actually, no. If you took a corporation as a human being and took that person into a psychiatrist's office and had them diagnosed, they're not good the way that they're set up. And we had very serious hesitations about setting up a company in the first place, but there really didn't seem to be any other solution to building high-end computers and delivering them to people. So, when we first, so most corporations, the way that they look at us, at consumers, is how much will this person spend on us over their lifetime? They don't look at the older generation because they only have so many more years left to give, to spend. They tend to look at the younger generation and shaping their opinions and shaping that. Oh, it just makes my skin crawl to think about it, but that's how they do it. Now, my background is education, certified K-12. I've taught nearly every grade from preschool to university. I taught French 101 at my alma mater. And so I know a little bit about teaching kids, but that was not the focus of my corporation. I just wanted to supply computers for people like me and my husband. But as we started building these computers, we would get emails from computer labs, schools, saying, hey, I need to buy 30 computers that are lower specs than what you currently have. And we'd say, sure, but you can go over here and get them for free. ACCRC, they'll give you 30 computers for free, why not? And so if by any chance you're working with a school, please, 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 I beg you, try to get them refurbished, because the one next will keep on running. Now, when I was in education, I used to work on educational software. And right around the turn of the new century, educational software shifted. Something happened. Oh, man, got messed up. Because everything's connected, everything changes, pay attention. I couldn't figure out what had happened to educational software. Where did it go? All right, you'll recognize it, good. I couldn't figure out what happened to educational software. It just disappeared. We didn't have anything on the shelves anymore. None of the companies were making anymore. Little did I know, it went underground. They didn't need the support of parents and teachers to figure out how to educate themselves. They started building and creating and exploring on their own. And when mom and dad didn't know how to help them, they figured out how to go to the mods and figure out how to install things on their own. That's Minecraft. It's a brilliant game, by the way. There are other things that were happening in education that's also happening in computer labs that nobody's hearing about, and I hope nobody hears about for a long time until we see it in hindsight that there's been change. I had an experience that taught me the real value of kids not just educating themselves, but learning from the tools that they had in front of them. When this guy here was about 11 or 12 years old, he asked to go see the Louvre. He'd read a good book where the final climactic scene had taken place in the Louvre in downtown Paris, the big museum. And he said, can I go to Paris? Now, when you have a 12-year-old boy who says he wants to go appreciate the culture of a European country, you do everything in your power to make it happen. We weren't wealthy. We just cut back on food. We ate rice and beans for a couple months. I got tickets for $250 round trip. I got a little apartment in Cathy, Holy Small, right downtown, right near the center, for $55 a night. We made it happen. Right near the end of the trip, 3 weeks into this trip, on the third week, I couldn't figure out why me, a still fluent French speaker, kept getting lost, and he never got lost. Whenever he told us where to go, we ended up where we needed to go. Whenever I said, oh, I think we go here and there, we got lost. Near the end, 3 weeks into it, I said, Corey, what gives? He said, oh, Midtown Madness, Mom. Midtown Madness, the car racing game. There's a Paris map. I've raced these roads. Of course I know these roads. That's what's happening. You know, I could have sat down, I could have developed a brilliant curriculum that showed the maps where the kids could research, and I could write down the answers to how to get from point A to point B. You think you would have remembered it? I don't think so. So, in education, now there are some groups that are building, and this is the butterfly effect. It's one classroom lab at a time. It's one project at a time. This is Artemis. It's the brilliant Beth Lynn is a huge powerhouse behind it. It's a nonprofit that supports computers in education.